Do you kids like to use the worldwide interweb?
The internet?
We do. We know what it is. Well, there was an item published on the
Internet.
Marketing Tech Blog.
Yes. I like that intro.
Doug, tell us what's going on over on marketingtechblog.com.
Well, we've been listening to this whole term of social business for quite a while. We have a great expert on it, Marty Thompson at DK New Media, and Marty came from a formal background of like SAP and process management and everything else, and he read a book called Social Business by Design, and I think he's read it twice, and I think he's going into it for a third time.
Wow.
And it really talks about how social media is changing business, and this applies to small business as well as big. That, you know, even within our business, we use like Yammer to communicate with one another, and we have Basecamp as a project management system, and we have all of these social tools that we're utilizing to kind of balance things back and forth. And he said a mistake that a lot of organizations do is they just look at social media in this one view, one world view.
Just a siloed area.
Yeah, it's for marketing to, basically blast out or pronounce or promote, what's going on.
But it doesn't affect all the other logistics of the organization.
All of the other logistics. And,
Yep.
As an example, he just talked about like the invoicing process when someone purchases something. You've got all of the stuff that happens in an invoicing process where you publish it, someone reads it, someone verifies it, someone approves it, then it goes, the customer gets a notification and all of these things back and forth. Well, these are all touch points between customers and different departments in the organization, all opportunities to say, how could we change these with social? How could we change it? How could we change it that when you purchase something online, what can we do with social media to respond to you? Maybe we ask you to take a poll or survey or something like that.
Or praise the purchase, the transaction, and doing business with the client.
And
So-
on top of that, inquire how the transaction was.
So he, part of the example of the book, and Marty is really getting after this, is the pundits out there, the social media consultants, the guys that maybe blogged about social media first. They went through this whole kind of hippie phase of, oh man, you just want to get in touch and tell the story and everything else. And there's really a lot more opportunity here for companies. And the problem is that a lot of these experts out there don't have them dig a little deeper. They don't analyze their business processes. They don't understand how they get customers and sales and people and everything else, how they deliver products, and see how social media can help them. And I'll throw out an example. We had an issue with our email system. Yesterday we had a DNS issue. Basically, mail didn't know where to go. That's what was happening. It was an MX record was lost, and so I got online and got a hold of my registrar and put a help ticket in. Nothing. Tweeted, nothing. Facebook page, nothing.
Oh, you hit it on all cylinders trying to get
I hit it on all, and I have a lot of followers, so usually people pay a little bit more attention to me.
Right.
And nothing. But one of my readers came back, and one of the guys that followed me came back and said, "Hey, try this service." So within an hour, I tried the new service, and I was up and running, and our email was, kind of back to normal. Well, think about that from a business aspect. How much time I got back in my schedule, efficiency,
Did you actually pick up and leave that registrar and move to another? Or?
I didn't. I was able to just point the name servers to the DNS service.
Okay, gotcha.
So for some reason their DNS entry refreshed immediately, but the contents within their DNS never updated.
Gotcha.
So I pointed the name server. And,
You realize that we just geeked out.
That's
completely.
okay. Some people out there know what we're talking
That's right.
about. Basically the email routing was down. Now it's up. And the way that happened was because I have a good audience.
Yep.
I have a great audience of people. And so you think about that, and you don't, people always talk about how much time is wasted on Facebook, how much time is wasted on Twitter. And they don't talk about those opportunities where we have 30, 40 clients that their emails were bouncing to us. We looked like idiots. And now instead of being down maybe 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, now I was down for an hour.
And on top of that, you were hitting that registrar in all different ways that somebody should have seen the blip.
I would hope so. They still have yet to respond.
And that's amazing. And that's a drop ball.
Yeah.
And we talk more and more about that branding issue. That's negative branding. And again, if you're not in that conversation, you can get some fireball thrown at you.
And if you go to their Twitter handle, and if you go to their Facebook page, it's all about their deals and their specials, and they're this, and they're not prepared, to actually handle customer service issues publicly like that. So Marty is attacking this dead on. This is I'm not doing justice to his post at all. Keep an eye on the Marketing Tech blog and Marty Thompson, especially on that author. When you want to really take a look at your business and take deep strokes as far as how can we use social media to really help not just our marketing and our inbound marketing, but actually help our business run better. He's really at the head of that.
Yeah, see, social media is about that communication. It's just not about telling your story.
Yeah, and there's not one, right? Facebook isn't the answer, and Twitter isn't the answer. Right. Yammer isn't the answer. It's sometimes there's combinations of these tools that really make the most sense. Right. Sometimes picking up the phone is the best thing that you can do. There's still so it's understanding basically how you can leverage all of these technologies and get more done with less, which is huge in this economy. The second thing that I wanted to talk about was paid content and paid social sharing, which is starting to ramp up. There's a lot of companies that obviously social is having a huge impact on companies getting the word out. So there's a lot of companies that are popping up now with paid social sharing, and they're reward and benefit types of schemes that that you can actually pay, and you can say, if we have a campaign of $500 or $1,000, you'll take it to your people, and you'll guarantee that it gets retweeted X number of times, and some people think it's evil.
Right.
I have mixed feelings, because I feel like for the small business owner out there who nobody knows who they are, and they might have 15 followers on Twitter, it's really hard to get that leg up. It's really hard. Now, if you're a huge company and you're going out and buying those, I think that's sneaky and nasty and everything else. But for someone who's just starting out, sometimes you need that leg up on promotion. Invest the money, see if it works. If it works, then great.
You've got parallels there to paid links and how Google smacked down on the use of paid links as accreditation or value being passed to a website. Right. And we've also heard about that there's, I can't remember the percentage, like 40% of social commentary or consumer reviews have been seen to be fake reviews. Yeah. So there's a whole other shift happening over here where the games now over here, social sharing and the signals of social have such a bearing on the value of an organic listing.
Let's hope that social sharing gets as efficient as Google is with understanding backlinks and authority and everything else.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, we see an article, and if it's got 2 retweets, we tend not to push the button. But when it's got 240, we're more apt to click the button. That's a different problem, right? That doesn't mean that I'm gaming the system if I add 200. It means that it's good content. I want it to be found. So I have mixed feelings on it, but here's what I'll say is it does work. It now be careful. You don't want to be a nobody and buy 50,000 followers
right
overnight. You're just going to get crap, and nobody's going to share the stuff. But if you want to gradually try to, and some of them are interim. You can go to Twitter? Twitter, a lot of the Twitter stats places you can go to, and you can say, hey, advertise me on here. Twitter itself has the marketplace now to promote your own Twitter follower. And are you buying followers there? Technically, yes. You're advertising to them now.
But the thing is, you're not being advocated by.
True. Like I said, it's a dance. I'm not saying it's good or evil. I
don't think it's a bad thing.
It's a matter of, if you use it and you're putting out great content, great. You're going to get it out there faster. But if you're using it to spam people and put out crap, guess what?
Yeah, it's going to come.
Beware.
It's going to come back tenfold.
The backlash is going to be huge.